Good day to all. Welcome again once more to this segment. What you should know about the law. Today, it's a real pleasure for me to be here again once more with all of you and share my knowledge as to what I believe the essential issues of law are and issues that you should know as a citizen, as a person evolving within society or within a community. I hope that this segment helps you understand these various issues and that you take pleasure and the time to listen to this actually. And you also invite your friends to do so. Again, my name is Peter Helder Bernard. I'm an attorney, practice law here in the United States, a member of the firm of Bernard and Yam with offices in New York and in Florida, but we actually represent clients throughout the United States, especially in federal immigration matters. Now, I want to say quickly that this program, unfortunately, will not be able to air on a weekly basis as I wanted to do at the beginning. Unfortunately, time constraints does not allow it. At this time, I've not been able to adjust my schedule as of yet. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to do that. But for now, we will be airing this on a bi-weekly basis. We will, nonetheless, try to increase the time from the 2 minutes that we initially said to probably 4 to 5 minutes. So we hope that this can actually, give you more time to digest the various issues that we are debating. Okay, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to discuss Obama's executive order. The executive order dealing with immigration. I must say to you that immigration is a topic that we'll be speaking about quite a lot. Because it's a topic which will require much time. It's a very vast topic, and I know that most of you come from immigrant families, maybe, and that you probably have family members who still are in need of immigration assistance. So there are various topics related to immigration which we should be debating. But today, for starters, we'll start with Obama's executive order, which in fact was I'd say enacted on November 20th, I think, if I'm not mistaken, November 20th, 2014, and the guidelines for the implementation of this order were to be issued on January 5th. Unfortunately, I yet have to see them, but such is what was said. Okay, now before we get to the executive order itself, Mr. President Obama's executive order, there are a few things I'd like to mention. I think that it is important for us to first and foremost explain to you what an executive order is. Some of you, I'm sure, have heard the term executive order mentioned so many times, but did not possibly understand what it meant. Reference was made to an executive order as a decree. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that works. But executive order actually is what it is here in the United States of America. It's a prerogative that the president has to issue a set of directives having full force of law without having the permanence of law. What I mean by that is that an executive order has full force of law. Do not let anybody make you think or make you believe that an executive order is maybe disregarded by anyone, especially not by members of the public sector. An executive order has to be obeyed. It has full force of law, but it does not have the permanence of law. But what I mean by that is that an executive order is never permanent, unless, nobody does anything about it. But generally, an executive order is not permanent. An executive order can be, there are many ways an executive order can be attacked. An executive order, it's not the law per se, permanently, but it is the law of the moment. In general, presidents enact or create executive orders to enable them to deal with various issues where they have specific objective but the law itself is silent. and they don't have a way to achieve these goals or these objectives. So they go through executive orders to do that. Immigration is one of the fields where presidents have used executive orders for for many years now. Various presidents have done that, and it has, as we said, full force of law. Now, an executive order can be repelled or can be set aside in a series of ways. First of all, by Congress. Congress voting a bill on the very topic. If Congress votes a bill, and where an executive order existed, and the essence of the bill is contradictory to what the executive order states, then the bill becomes law. Of course, once it's approved by the president. The president does have veto power. Let's not forget that. And he can veto the bill if he does not agree with it. Congress does also have the power to override the president's veto, but with 2/3 votes in each house. So, in other words, and the same goes for the executive order. The Congress, therefore, cannot vote directly against an executive order, meaning that the Senate or the House could not just say, well, we're voting against this executive order individually. They could not do that. They will have to pass a bill. And that's the only way they can actually do with the executive order. An executive order can also be set aside by the Supreme Court. Yes, by the Supreme Court. Why? Because if the Supreme Court rules that that the executive order in itself is unconstitutional because of generally because of equal protection issues or due process issues, then it may be found that the executive order is unconstitutional. Therefore, it does not have force of law. Remember, as a matter of fact, many of the most recent president that I can remember who had an issue with an executive order was President Truman, where he passed a series of executive orders dealing with the steel workers, and these executive orders were actually overruled and were set aside by the Supreme Court, stating that many issues were arose. I don't remember the case in detail, but I remember from law school that we did study this case. Now, an executive order can also be set aside by another president. In other words, if President Obama's executive order will remain in effect until Congress passes a bill, or the Supreme Court said that it's unconstitutional, which there is absolutely no way they could actually say this, because it's all constitutional. This is within the prerogatives of the president, what he has decided, or a new president comes into office, and that president feels like this executive order does not reflect his position on the issue, and just decides to put it aside, and then this is the end of it, and it's done. Now, as far as Mr. President Obama's executive order, I must say that there are many great benefits to this executive order. First of all, it allows over 4 million people who were left in the shadows to actually come out of the shadows and actually be part of society in a normal fashion. We know that the immigrant workforce is extremely important to the economy of this country. So this will allow a more formal relationship between these immigrants and the system per se. And this will, in fact, I believe, enrich American economy in many ways. Now, President Obama's executive order primarily addresses people who have children who were born in the United States, who have been here for at least 5 years before the order actually came into effect, and who have children who are here and don't have serious criminal offenses. Have not committed felonies or you know, you name it, things of the sort. Misdemeanors, yes, can be accepted. It depends on the nature of the misdemeanor. You know, for immigration purposes, there's always the issue of moral character. There's what we call a crime of moral turpitude.